Yeah.
All right, next from John Kamathan, the subject is Otis. Silly project me and my buddies have been doing on YouTube recently is rewatching the lockdown era of wrestling. I won't plug it. That will just start others doing the same with their emails. And we're noticed that later in 2019, they carried into lockdown the two biggest babyfaces in the company were Drew McIntyre, who became WWE champion, and Otis. He had that heavy machinery and had that great angle with Mandy Rose and Dolph Ziggler. He was supposed to win that crazy Money in the Bank in the WWE offices, which would make a killer video game option. Get to work, 2K. And then his tag partner turned heel on him. So clearly this is all part of his big solo push and then nothing. He basically vanished until he came back to drop the Money in the Bank to Miz and then changed character to a heel with Chad Gable now from American House. K100, do you have any idea at all what went on with this? It seemed weird to have a guy do all the work that people were reacting to online and then just drop it as fans can start attending shows again. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Otis was like, I thought the Otis was a comedy character. And then they decided, well, he needs to be more serious, and that now he's stuck in doing what they're doing with him now.
Yeah, well, he was looking good when he was the heel. Bro, he had that lame angle where like this hot girl, I don't know who was like in love with him.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you may say that this was a great video game, which it is, finish throwing Rey Mysterio off the roof, but I thought that was stupid. Just like what I thought it was stupid when they did the Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye.
Rollins still has his eye.
Thanks to Daniel French, subject is Riddle goals. I'd really love to hear Conan's opinion on this. A few days ago, Matt Riddle in an interview promoting his upcoming appearances in it, and in it he said that TNA seems like an interesting place to be right now. I'm having talks with them. And really, as a fan, TNA hasn't had much positive buzz in a long time. I'm enjoying it. Here's my question, though, Conan. Why do you think he hasn't spoken with AEW yet? Do you think that maybe there's a chance he doesn't want to go there? Or do you think maybe Tony Khan doesn't want to work with him due to the controversy? I'd really love Conan's take on this because Disco, respectively, I really love Conan's take on this. Go ahead, Conan.
Well, I would assume Tony, who's picked up just about every talent out there, would have talked to him. So I'll just keep talking. So I would assume he talked to him because he's charismatic, he's good on the mic, and he's a great wrestler. Like, what else do you need, right?
Right.
And he's got that UFC pedigree, So you would think he'd talk to him. This is what I think. I think a lot of wrestlers talk to each other. They're like, yo, what's up in AEW, blah, blah, blah. Then he's talking to people in TNA, and they're, telling him what's going on there, and he probably wants the creative freedom that TNA affords him.
Interesting.
And also, Matt will be on this week, so we can take your question right to him.
Do we have time for him this week?
Yeah.
Are you sure? We're not recording tomorrow. Joe, we're going to record for 3.5 hours on Thursday?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I kind of figured if we had to fit some stuff in, we would do a little on Friday.
Common sense. We're not going to have time. We're going to do 3 shows.
Whatever you got to fit in, just do it on Friday. Disco, I won't be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can finish it. Yeah, you can do another. You can do that.
It would be Riddle.
Skip Riddle this week.
All right. Yeah, but we never know how hard.
And we got no guests because all the content's been used.
Well, but we don't have time.
Well, we got to show reviews. Whatever.
Make sure Riddle's available next week. If isn't, let's do him this week because he's a big guest.
Yeah.
All right. Next is Lion McCarthy. Some of his heels.
I mean, he's no Mike Durbin, but he is a big guest. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good get.
Yeah.
Hey guys, heels and faces. You look at WWE and AEW. WWE faces Seth. Heels and faces. You look at WWE and AEW. WWE faces are Seth, Cody, Sami, KO, Jey Uso, LA Knight, etc. The heels are Roman, Rock, Jimmy, Solo, Drew, Gunther, etc. I'd say they're quite obvious. Now, AEW, can you tell me which is which, please? Samoa Joe, Adam Page, Swerve, Blackpool Combat Club, the Mexicans who have appeared, and the Mexicans who have appeared. I'm quite certain you'll agree that good and bad guys matter to tell an interesting story, and I kind of kill the question with this. But not knowing who you're meant to support kind of kills the product in AEW. Lastly, AEW proudly promoted over 15,000 for Revolution with they sold out Sting's last match. Without that, in their once-a-year England trip, how long before they hit 10K again? Thank you, Lion. Yeah, I don't, bro. Like I said, AEW does not have a lot of definitive super over baby faces or super over heels. And WWE's got a handful of them. Like, who's the most over babyface in AEW right now?
Cassidy or Darby?
I mean, think about it. Like, you actually have to think about it. Who's the most over babyface in WWE right now?
Cody.
That's like instantly you know the answer, right? So like, yeah, they got problems. They, yeah, brother.
Not only Cody, they got a lot of guys that
right.
Seth and you know what I'm saying, and Jay.
A lot of very
LA Knight.
A lot of very well-defined heels and baby faces.
Right.
One of your well-defined baby faces is turning heel with good storytelling because he's a principled heel.
Right.
Drew McIntyre.
Right.
You know, so it's like, yeah, they got some good stuff going on there. And like, but AEW just like, yeah, I wrote the whole Adam Page, Swerve and Joe are supposed to be the heels, are supposed to be. Okay. And they let them go out there on their own on the mic, and the crowd just kind of reacted, and they're just going out and just going on the mic, and it depends how the crowd's going to react. And Adam Page now is supposed to be the babyface, but he's the heel. And the other two are like,
where he was the heel. I thought he was the heel.
Well, that's the same, but like, you know, but the concept was, if you were booking this from a, you know, before you were watching shows, like Joe and Swerve are the heels, and Adam Page is the babyface, and the exact opposite plays out on television. You know, Joe gets cheered, Joe, you know, whose house was, so they dance to Swerve, and Page comes down, they kind of boo him. You know, I don't know. Kind of weird. There's a weird dynamic going on.
Joe's definitely a heel, even though they chant his name. But hey, sometimes they chant Roman Reigns' name. It's hard when a heel is cool to boo him all the time, but they both get boos. Adam Page, I don't know what's going on with him. The Blackpool Combat Club, they're supposed to be heels, right? And the Mexicans, they're supposed to be the baby faces, but they don't act like it. I'm talking about the Mexicans from CMLL, by the way. Yeah.
Next is Roger Azate. Subject is better match quality. Hey, K100 crew, I just finished listening to your interview with Conrad. You guys spoke about which match would be better, Rock versus Roman or Roman versus Cody. The general consensus is that Rock versus Cody would be better match because of logical reasons. Cody's active, etc. To quote Reacher, assumptions kill. Look at what Rock versus Hogan did in Mania 17. I know for a fact no one thought that would be a great match, but then we saw what happened. But here's a question so I don't get suspended. Who books the matches in AEW? The talent? Gamers? LOL? I don't know what quality means that company. Nothing makes sense and no one knows how to sell. That 30-minute draw that Page and Swerve had is a great example of what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. I would think Rock versus Roman is a match I would rather see to see what they do, you know?
Yeah.
We'll see what the crowd reacts. But and it wouldn't be bad. You know what I watched? Somebody posted this on Twitter, and they posted the whole Hogan versus Andre match. Okay, and it's like a 10-minute match, right? Mm-hmm. And I watched it, and you know, what did Dave give that? Like -2 stars or something?
Oh yeah,
right?
it did. It was
Bro, I watched go and watch that match, and I thought it was a 3-star match. Because of like what if you're watching it as a mark, if you're watching the work, the
-4.
-4. It's definitely excessively better than a -4 match. I would.
Which match?
Hogan versus
WrestleMania 3.
Yep.
Like we only see like the last couple like seconds of that match, like last 30 seconds, but they were actually doing a lot of physical. Hogan was like the details. And the simplicity was played out perfectly.
Right.
Like Hogan's selling was excellent.
Yep.
Selling for a big giant guy and stuff and all that. And bro, I'm watching like the skills of professional wrestling were definitely on display in that match.
Not only that, does crowd reaction not count?
Right.
They were fired.
Yes. The whole thing. Like if I'm watching, like how can anybody, like if you're a wrestling fan, there's no way you can watch that and the aura of the crowd and watching and think that this is like one of the worst matches ever.
Right.
Like you got to be really critical to look at it from that islands, because that was actually a pretty good match. I would implore people to go watch it. It's only 10 minutes. I have to watch a 40-minute thing with 900 near falls. It's a pretty basic story they told, and they told it very, very, very well. You know, I thought it was really good. to be honest.
When you look at Hogan's main events, he main evented 1 through 8. His matches all delivered in that way. And maybe not Sid, but Hogan and Andre, yeah, man.
Hogan
Historical.
was like kind of a decrepit, bitter old, giant 500-pound guy. That's how it was portrayed. Andre, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, when they're standing next to each other, and the crowd's like rumbling. You're seeing like Hogan looks like he could probably take this guy, but the other guy's definitely considerably bigger than him. And like that.
And remember, they had limitations too, Disco, because Andre had just had or was going to have back surgery. He had a big brace on under his fights.
He couldn't walk that well.
He couldn't walk that well.
But it was very good.
Yep.